Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a quick little chit chat, and it's something that I think desperately needs to change in the fragrance buying experience, and it's how you purchase samples, how the samples are sent to you, and things like that. So if you'd like to know my thoughts on this, then keep watching. This is going to be a quick video, and as always, if you think my opinions are wrong, you guys are probably more educated than I am, always feel free to let me know in the comment section below. I'm here to learn. But one of the things that I've noticed when doing my first impressions videos, one of the reasons why I kind of stopped doing my first impression videos, and I will be doing them again very soon, and just something that I think is so terribly important, is how the fragrance samples are packaged. Now, a lot of times, and I mean a lot of times, you will get the fragrances, you will get the fragrances in samples that have like that little tab, like a dabber, and I think that is one of the worst ways that you can get a fragrance. I think that if you are getting a sample, if a store, if a website, if a boutique is selling samples, what they need to do is they need to sell the samples in the way that it is intended to be applied. So if it is a fragrance that needs to be spritzed through an atomizer, if that's the way that the fragrance was designed to be worn, I think that when you get it as a dabber, it is actually just completely ruining the experience of the fragrance, and people might not purchase it because it might not perform the way that it's intended. It might not develop the way that it's intended. I also noticed that people, when they put on dabbers, they put on way too much or not enough. You don't get the exact amount of application for it to really perform properly. And I think it is hugely important for businesses, boutiques, and stores to start investing in how they provide samples to people, especially if it is a business where you purchase the samples. Now, I've done reviews on fragrances where they're kind of a little bit quirky and fun, where they'll have it on moist talettes or like a scratch and sniff card or things like that, and those are kind of fun, but you don't get a good experience, or you don't have a good idea of how that fragrance is going to perform, how that fragrance is going to develop on the skin, and just overall it's left me unimpressed. And I'll use an example, and I'm going to be doing an updated review this week. I don't know if the video will be up before or after this video, but a fragrance I did a first impression on where I purchased a sample was from Russian Tea from the brand Masque Milano. And I liked it, but I didn't get a good experience of it, and I was like, I don't know if I'd buy this. And actually, Alessandro Brun reached out to me, and he's like, you didn't experience it the way that you were supposed to experience it. And he sent me a sample of it in an atomizer, and I was so impressed the way it was supposed to be worn. And so if you're a fragrance shop online and you are charging for samples, which I am okay with, you need to invest in those samples. You need to invest in the experiences. So please stop putting fragrances in dabbers, especially if it is a fragrance that is designed to be in an atomizer. If it is a fragrance that you believe would work equally as a dabber or an atomizer, that's fine. If it's a fragrance where you're supposed to put it on with, with a dabber, I mean, there's some fragrances and fragrance oils out there where you don't want it to be on an atomizer, then dabbers are perfectly fine. But for a majority of the fragrances out there, you really want them to be worn through an atomizer. That's how they're designed. That's how the perfumer designed them, and things like that. And I think it is so important, if you are looking to purchase a fragrance, you might be getting a bad idea of how a fragrance performs. You might be getting an inaccurate idea of how a fragrance develops. And overall, you're probably less likely to purchase a full bottle based on poor application. So, I'm not going to name any boutiques or any stores out there that do this, but as a consumer, as someone who spends a lot of money buying samples to review for you guys, I'm begging these companies to at least have an option when you purchase a sample as a dabber or as an atomizer, I will pay more money. I do not mind paying more money for a sample if it is in an atomizer. No problem whatsoever on my end. And if you have the option of a dabber or an atomizer, that might be great. But I think having an atomizer as a method of application when it comes down to sampling fragrances, especially when you're looking to invest in a very expensive bottle of perfume and you're buying the sample to try, or people are purchasing the samples to review, I think it's really important to have the proper mode of application in these samples. And to be perfectly honest, and this might be a controversial topic, I think it's lazy. I think it's very lazy. I think it's doing the fragrance a disservice. I think it's doing your store and your business a disservice. I think it is really important to have the option for atomizers specifically on fragrances that are designed by the perfumer to be applied as an atomizer. So I know it's a little bit of a long video. I am so sorry. And this is, do remember guys, that this is my opinion, but I think it's really important that when you sample fragrances, you get the right type of sample and you're wearing it the way that it was intended. It will definitely help you make a better decision if you're going to purchase or not purchase. You might be missing out on amazing fragrances like Russian Tea from Mask Milano, to give you an example of what really inspired this review, or this video inspired this video. It's really super duper important. It's doing the entire industry a disservice, and I think it's time that we as consumers start voicing our opinions on how we would like to get samples, especially in businesses where we are purchasing the samples. If they're given for free and a business wants to do it a specific way, that's fine. But when we are purchasing samples, I think that we as consumers have a right to say we deserve a better way to do this. So that is my thoughts and opinions on this topic. It might be a little bit controversial, guys. Again, let me know your opinions below. I always like this to be a conversation. As always, guys, if you like videos like this, remember to give this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue doing videos like this. And also don't forget to subscribe because it's free and I'm free, and I put out new videos every Monday through Friday and sometimes on the weekends as well. So I'll always have something for you to watch. In any case, I hope you guys are all happy and healthy and have a great day, month, year, whatever. And I will see you next time.